The following podcast is a VHW podcast feature presentation. Just a reminder, viewer discretion is advised. Oh, it's a Beantown Sports Wolfcast. Oh, good morning, everybody, and there is a Beantown Sports Wolfcast recap featuring the greatest rivalry in all of sports, the Boston Redsox and the New York Yankees, and a winner-go-home AL wildcard. Will the Sox be able to maintain their dominance at home against the Yankees since the beginning of this season, or will the Yankees destroy all the Sox momentum and eliminate them from a one-game wildcard? Find out on the Beantown Sports Wolfcast! Thank you. I am fucking thrilled at these results, folks. I know you are too. It was a dominant factory setting. We destroyed the Yankees. We made the New York Post cry on their sports headlines, which is fucking hilarious if you ask me. The Red Sox came in with the struggle. They were being chased by not only the Yankees, but the Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners for a spot at the AL wildcard. And don't forget, folks, a few years ago, they changed it all. It's not like the wildcard team plays the best divisional record that isn't in your division, and you could only play divisional teams in the ALCS. They changed it a few years ago to make a winner-take-all wildcard game, and the ratings have been through the roof on TBS and ESPN, respectively. They rotate the American League and National League wildcard every year. I know the National League on TBS tonight is the St. Louis Cardinals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. But you've got the greatest rivalry in all of sports and a winner-take-all one-game playoff, similar to how the NFL does it. And there were a lot at stake. A lot of people didn't feel confident about this coming in, as the Red Sox were so dominant before the All-Star break. But you had a lot of COVID protocols with Evaldi and so much more. And you had Chris Sale finally coming back after a year and a half deactivation from Tommy John surgery. Wasn't able to play. You got Xander, Bogarts, and Rafael Devers killing it for the hitting squad this year for the Red Sox, propelling them to the position where they are now. As the Sox Yankees rivalry has featured some of the most intense moments in sports history. Dating back to 1918, everyone we know is basically dead except for 5 people in this state, maybe 10 if you count all New York. I don't know. I don't have access to the U.S. Census forms. But anyways, dating back to 1918, I found out back in the past, if you look at your history, folks, the Red Sox were dominating over the Yankees. They won 5 World Series and the Yankees won 0. All of a sudden, they traded Babe Ruth and sold Babe Ruth off for a Broadway play. I don't know much of the lore there. And it started an 86-year curse, leading the Yankees to winning 25 World Series and being the most dominant payroll, profitable team in not only all of Major League Baseball, but perhaps all of sports as well. You got the 2 biggest markets in sports, as you got New York carrying New Jersey, half of Connecticut, and a heavy population in the Queens, Manhattan, Bronx areas. You also got, not only Boston may be a small city, but we carry like 6 other states. You got the South Shore and the Rhode Islanders, and you got the Mainers and the mountains of New Hampshire and Vermont up north to carry a personal fan base. The rivalry's always hyped. I love going to Red Sox-Yankee games, out of the best games, because all the fans get drunk and swear at each other. I know a lot of you nowadays don't like that kind of stuff, but I get a good chuckle out of that. The Wolf really gets a good chuckle, because it's part of the fun when your emotions are on the line, and the one-game playoff is the biggest catastrophe. And you got A-Rod commentating on ESPN last night, and Varacek working in their production crew, I believe. And they still haven't made up the beef for that epic fight 16 years ago, and when had Pedro Martinez crash Don Zimmer through the locker room. That was awesome. I know I'm being a jerk, am I? But whatever. Boston, baby. Anyways, it's time to recap the game. The starting pitchers of last night was Nathan Eovaldi going up against Garrett Cole of the New York Yankees. As Garrett Cole has been so dominant all year for the Yankees, except when he plays the Red Sox at Fenway. It is kind of hilarious. New York Post is so mad at the result, they're calling him the reverse Bucky Dent. For those of you who don't know who Bucky Dent is, back then, the first two in the AL and National League Conference standings, they didn't really do divisions back then, I don't believe. I may be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But 1978 was the last time they had a winner go all playoff game, besides the 2003 and 2004 ALCSs, respectively, which had me very happy and very sad back-to-back years. The sad part first, obviously, when Grady Little kept Pedro in too long, and Aaron fucking Boone, who's ironically the manager of the New York Yankees, hit a home run in extra innings to send the Yankees to the World Series that year. But we came back from 3-0, which has always provide great memories for all of us alike. But Nasty Nate facing off against Garrett Cole. A lot of people had the Yankees winning this because of the Sox struggles, but it goes to show you, once the postseason hits, everything's different. You got the VSW podcast poll with 83% of you picking the Yankees. Boy, you guys are such doubters, and only 17% of you picked the Red Sox to win last night. Anyways, this was a really pitcher's duel at the first. It all started with Rafael Devers carried the momentum in the third inning and slammed a huge-ass 2-run home run over the Charles River at Fenway faithful. But Alex Cora is finally back. It was really great to have him back because over the incident with the Houston Astros where he was the hitting coach before he came to the Red Sox a few years ago. There was a bit of a similar to the Deflategate and Spygate with the Patriots. There was a lot of controversy with the Houston Astros where they cheated to win all those World Series. But who knows, because the Astros are still a dominant team. They're facing the White Sox in the ALCS. They still got guys like Bregman who can hit the fucking home run out of the park. Anyways, I will recap it. It started off as a scoreless game with the first two innings for the Red Sox. As it was a fun night for Fenway. The crowd seemed to be roaring with their Bud Light and Budweiser aluminum bottles and catching a 100-year-old Fenway Franks, which is always a go-to classic, or the sausage guy vendor outside of Fenway for the best Italian sausage here. Like I said, it was a really great time. As the Red Sox are ALCS bound, it was a really intense game that I thought that the Yankees were going to come back and tie this game up right when they hit a solo home run. And I'm just looking for things to load, folks. I apologize. But that's a huge case and why it's been taking so long. Because my internet's been a little slow. Everything's been slow since the Facebook purge. So you got Eovaldi versus Garrett Cole. Like I said, the lineup was for the Yankees. Rizzo as the leadoff man. Aaron Judge, the right fielder, number 2 for their heart of the lineup. Gianni Stanton, the designated hitter, number 3 as the power hitter. And Ryan Gallo as the 4th hitter. Then catcher Torres. Then Brett Gardner is center field. Ushalela is number 7. And Higashawa pinching in for Gary Sanchez. They shared the 8th line. And you got Velasquez as the designated number 9 hitter. For the Red Sox, you got Kyle Schwarber leading off. You got Hernandez in the center field as the number 2, the power hitter. Third baseman, Rafael Devers, a shortstop, Xander Bogarts, and Vertigo as the left fielder, Hunter Renfroe as the right fielder, Pulowski as a sixth hit. You got Shar in the pinch hitter for Vasquez, who was number 7, Dahlback is number 8, and Christian Arroyo as the 9th to clean things up. I thought who made a game difference there. Yeah, Devers hit the home run, but Bogarts was dominant for 2 for 2 at bats. You also had Aaron Judge, Rizzo, who hit that home run to make it 2-1 for the Yankees. It was 2-1 for the Red Sox. You also had a lot of pitchers being warmed up for the Yankees once Cole didn't even make it past 2 innings. Who would have ever thought? He did have 3 strikeouts, but once he gave up those home runs to the Xander Bogarts and Devers, it was amazing. I apologize, folks. I messed up again. We all botch once in a while. It was Bogarts who hit that first home run, not Devers. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyways, I like to correct my mistakes. I'm not perfect. I don't expect you guys to be too. You got Holmes to come in for Cole after those home runs. And you got Kyle Schwarber hitting a home run in the 3rd inning to get Cole to be relieved for Holmes. And it was a 3-1 Boston, and that was the game changer, folks. You also had Eovaldi pitch 7 strikeouts through 5 innings before he got taken out for Brazier. Then Holluck came in for 1 inning, struck out 2, did his job. They switched relievers. You got Robles to give up a strikeout, but it got scary when they were up 6-1 when you had Whitlock give up a home run to Gianni Stanton when it was 6-2. People thought the momentum would be changed, but then there was a line drive ground out to first baseman for the 2nd out, and then a pop up to right field for Renfroe to catch it, and the rest was history, folks. The Sox had won, and they are moving on to the ALCS to face off against the over 100-win Tampa Bay Rays. And Tampa Bay's been so spoiled since Tom Brady ditched us for sunny Florida like all the other retirees. He ain't retired yet, but you get my point. The Lightning won back-to-back Stanley Cups. You got the Tampa Bay Rays making it to the World Series last year in the lockout short and the pandemic shortened season and losing to the Dodgers. And you also got the Rays waiting the Red Sox right now as we speak. The first pitch, I believe, is Thursday in Tampa, tomorrow on FS1 at 7:07 pitch-off time, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but my favorite play was that Xander Bogarts home run and a fly ball to the Monsters center field. You also got Kyle Schwarber, the former Chicago Cubs World Series team that broke their 100-year Billy Goat curse. You have Anthony Rizzo on the Yankees, and you got Kyle Schwarber on the other sides of the team. Talk about a rivalry that knows how to break off curses. You have him flying, and it was 3-0 Yankees to get Cole the bust last night and costing the New York Yankees. And you got Vertigo, who had a huge double to get another RBI, getting Xander Bogarts to run the score in the 4th run. But the top of the 6th did get scary as the Red Sox want to keep all their pitchers as healthy as possible. There's a reason why Chris Sale didn't pitch last night, because you kind of got to think ahead. I know you got to look at a 1-game-at-a-time mindset, but at the same time, you got to go right ahead and think of advancing, because it's a series compared to a 1-game playoff. And you need Cole, you need all the other pitchers to be ready. But Eovaldi had a tremendous game, 71 pitches. He did allow 4 hits, but he struck out 8, and I'm really proud that he got the ovation he deserves. Speaking of ovation, I'd like to give the hats off to the Boston Red Sox, and I wish Jerry Remy beat cancer once again. The poor guy can never catch a break, whether it's personal issues, whether he keeps fighting lung cancer. They brought him up to throw the first pitch, and it was emotional last night, and it made everyone really happy. And it made and the Yankees losing to the Sox. You could see A-Rod was being unbiased. You're a national TV commentator, A-Fraud. You should know better. You should call it right. I know you hate the Red Sox because Veritek kicked your ass a few years, 15 years ago. But you got to get over it. You had a great career. You also have a lot of Red Sox pitchers to get ready. We don't know who they're going to start against the Rays tomorrow night, but maybe they throw Chris Sale in. Maybe they do. Evaldi will probably be ready for Game 3 when they return to Fenway. But you also have Gerardo Rodriguez. He could get the starting nod tomorrow, but Matt Barnes has been injured, and it's hard to find a good closer like him, as we're going to really miss him in the postseason because we really need to close games. We can't be giving up solo home runs right at the top of the 9th inning when we had the lead. Luckily, we did get away since the hitting parade hit when they had to. Not really. The Sox didn't really dominate 6-1 or 6-2 rather, but they hit right when they were supposed to compared to the Yankees last night. No team really outdone the other. It's just when the moments counted the most, the Red Sox delivered the home runs compared to the Yankees. The Yankees had 2 solo home runs too. But we all know that if you don't have the hitting parade, if one team doesn't out-hit the other too much in the 10-4 span, you're going to have to rely on home runs like last night. It was the big moments that got them the win to move on to the ALCS. As I think the Sox will make it at least 5 games against the Rays. The Rays have been dominated. I can't say that. I think if the Sox get past the Rays in the ALCS, I will do a preview tomorrow. But Alex Vertigo's RBI double was awesome last night. It really got the crowd really confident and really premature celebration a little bit because we all knew they were going to win once that happened last night. But we all thought the Sox have a tendency to struggle in September and October. Historically, the Yankees always get better at that time. So that's why I was a little nervous, and that could explain my 83% Yankee prediction on the VSW Podcast YouTube community poll we did a few days ago as soon as the game was announced. And boy, did it feel good to be invested in a baseball game. It's hard to get emotionally invested when there's 162 games a year, folks. But anyways, I'd like to thank you all for listening and keep your eye out tomorrow for a Red Sox Rays ALDS preview. I apologize for all the botches, my friend. And keep an eye out for all the future VSW podcast specials as we got chaotic in our hometown in Watertown, Massachusetts. The 2 days before Halloween, Friday night, me and the Versace Stoner will be there. You also got the debut promotion at KPW. We'll be refereeing and Versace will be hosting, as there's a lot of big things coming in the VSW, folks. As I'd like to thank you for listening to this Red Sox presentation. Cowboy up, go Sox! Yeah, I love that dirty water, and I know you folks do too. The Wolf is signing off. We'd like to thank you for watching the following VSW podcast presentation. Like, subscribe to all the future content you can get on our social media platforms, and enjoy, folks.